Hey friends, Lucien here with the Bullish Bears team. Wanted to show you of a potential trade I'm looking to take at some point, maybe after open, if the pattern holds. This is for American Airlines, AAL. You'll see right here, there's kind of, I don't know if you want to call it like a pennant pattern or a symmetrical triangle. You'll see pre-market high is 1321. Looking at this 5-minute candle right here to see if it forms below or right near $13, and I'm looking for a potential break of $13, which is a very important area, obviously whole and half dollar amounts. And then if it breaks above $13, I want to see $13 hold, ideally go up and break again pre-market highs of 1321. So that's pre-market resistance. And then when I'm looking at, you'll see this line above around that 1338-ish area. There is a gap on the daily between like 1338-ish up to like right around 1380s, somewhere around there. So I want to see if price is going to continue up. You'll see this is the hourly. Again, it's a little bit overextended, but that's where I want to see, again, $13, very important area, 1321 pre-market resistance, then see if it can go up towards that gap. So I will keep you filled in as market opens and see if I take this trade. All right, so markets opened. You'll see on a 1-minute chart, price is kind of failing this area right here, angular support. So we're going to see if there's a bounce off VWAP. And if so, want to see it go and break above 13, but obviously it's bearish at the moment, so I will come back and address this as it comes up. So again, I want to see, being bullish on this, I want to see price move up and break out, but many times at the open, price starts to sell off. So I will be back to go over this with you guys. Now, I typically at the open and just trading in general, I like to see a 5-minute candle form. So I don't like to usually get in right away, especially at open. I like to let a good 5-minute candle form so I can see what potential the stock is going in. And obviously you can see there's lots of volatility going on. So I like to typically have kind of smaller risk or defined risk. So I like to have that 5-minute candle form. So right now it's got kind of this long-legged candle. We'll have to see if it forms a hammer or if it's going to, a long-legged doji, or if it's going to do a high wave candle. We'll have to watch and see, but you can see it's very important. Now I actually want to take this right here and I want to change the resistance right out to basically right over in here. So I want to see price break out, again, break out of that $13 level. Now me personally, again, if I got in at the break of $13, I wouldn't risk this whole candle as a stop. I would probably, if it breaks $13, use about $13 as a stop level and 1321 pre-market high as resistance. So actually, let me go over to a 1-minute chart here. I may consider this one if it breaks above $13 before the 5-minute candle forms. So I'm going to look right here, see if the ask gets above 13. There it goes. I'm going to let this candle complete and watch the next candle. Watch it retest. Now I want to see if it can hold right here and then get above that 13, 13, I want to see it get 1301 or more and continue up. But right now it's kind of retesting and falling back down to that 9 EMA. You'll see you want to see a 920 crossover and push it up. So this is where, again, you'll see that kind of that wave of volatility up and down. That's why I like to ideally let a 5-minute candle form. So you'll see it kind of plays around like this. So a lot of times you'll come in on the last minute of the candle. Last minute or first minute is usually pretty telling. So we're going to watch this one play out. We've got actually about 13 seconds or so until this candle completes. So this one could be a very critical candle right here. Again, bouncing right off that 1292. Now I want to see again, I want price over $13. So now this is a critical candle. See how this forms right here, looking for 1301. I'm long Oh, I put my order in at buying at the ask. It didn't fill yet. So I'm going to cancel it. That didn't go through. So I bought the ask. It didn't fill my order. So at this point, what is it here? Another 30 seconds left. So I missed it. I tried to buy it as it broke above $13. My order didn't fill buying at the ask. So I'm going to wait at this point. So I missed it. So, you know, that would have been up about over 10 cents or so on that candle. So I missed that candle. Again, another 10 or 12 seconds. So that shows you guys right there. I missed it right here off the break of $13. Many times I'll get filled, so I usually will buy the ask on TD. I like tight bid ask spreads, but this one I missed it. So there you go. So that would have been a nice 20-cent move up, but again, I missed it. So let's see, going on a 5-minute, and you'll see that was a 5-minute bullish candlestick up. So now at this point, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to chase it. I want to see if it holds that 1320-ish area. So I'm going to let this 5-minute candle form at this point right here. So again, that 1321-ish is a very important area. So I'm going to let that 5-minute, this time I'm definitely going to let the 5-minute candle form and come back and see if there will be a potential opportunity to enter. All right, so you'll see that second 5-minute candle formed. It rejected. It's kind of high wave-ish candle or spinning top-ish candle. It rejected pre-market resistance, right? So now what I'm looking for right here is to see if we will get a hold off this 9 EMA, possibly setting up a flag. So you'll see it kind of broke out, comes back down, and now it's retesting. Was like that support right over in here. So now it's retesting right below that $13. So I'd like to see a bullish hold on this for a potential move up. I'd like to see a nice smaller kind of candlestick hold this kind of $13 area. Then I might look to take a position for a potential breakout. So I'm looking for, again, ideally like a 5-minute bull flag with some smaller risk. It's a little bit more risk than I want to take on this. Again, if I took a break of a candle like this earlier on, I probably wouldn't use the whole thing as a stop. So I'll come back and readdress this one after this 5-minute candle forms. All right, so I'm coming back here. I'm going to readdress some support levels. So I'm going to draw my line right here and see now. Again, the 5-minute candle hasn't formed yet, but I'm just kind of watching on this one right here now. So that was kind of 5-minute support earlier. Now I kind of want to readdress and go kind of this this area. You can see it's kind of moving up. I might do it just like this. Kind of right. Let me get rid of this drawing. All right, kind of right up here right now. So kind of want to see again. Now you want to connect these levels, right? These support resistance levels. You'll see that one was going out there earlier. So now I kind of have it here. I'm going to actually move this one off. I'm going to remove that drawing. So again, I want to see if there's going to be a potential flag here. This 5-minute candle hasn't formed completely yet. So again, it's kind of still a bearish candle. So again, that $13 area, very, very important support level. So you can see it's kind of an evening star in a 1-minute, and the 1-minute starting to curl down. So at this moment, I am not liking this one at all. So I'm probably going to readdress and watch for the next candle to form and see if there'll be a potential entry. All right, so that next 5-minute candle is forming, and you can see support is breaking on that previous support level that I had drawn. So now I'm going to readdress, and I'm going to remove this drawing. I'm going to remove this one right over here. And now what I'm going to do is kind of do this right over here. So as we're starting to get some support resistance levels, I'm going to kind of draw it down like this. And it might be doing a potential falling wedge on a 1-minute. So you'll see kind of like this, right? So I want to watch and see now. So now I can do, if I zoom out and kind of go right over here, now I can connect my potential support level right there. So now you can see that kind of that hammer right there. So this may, again, we got to watch and see. This may be forming a potential bull flag. We have to watch and see. Ideally, we want to see this candle move up and then break out of that falling wedge. So we're going to watch and see what happens with this candle. But now, as you can see, I can kind of draw my trend lines. You know, I got some angular support here. A possible, you know, again, a possible falling wedge pattern. So at this point, you want to see price, again, still, as you see, if it breaks out, you want to see it get above $13. This $13 is a very important level. So we're going to watch here. You can see price is slowly creeping up. You have a couple minutes left. So we're going to watch right here if this is a 5-minute bullish candle that forms. Again, a lot of times these will go up, and then many times too it'll reject over here. That's why it's very important. Right here, you'll see another 2 minutes left to this candle. That last candle will be very important. You can see some overhead resistance at those moving average lines. A lot of people will get in down here, you know, near these levels in anticipation of a break of $13, and then other people will wait till, let's say, that 5-minute candle will form, get in a break above $13. I typically, again, like to have those 5-minute candles form because I'm not a big fan of going through the yo-yo process as the candles, you know, if you get in on one, I'm just not personally a fan of trading the yo-yo or being in that yo-yo on a 5-minute. I like, again, that 5-minute candle completion to hold, then look to get in. And as you can see, price is slowly moving up. We have another minute left of this candle. So as you can see, stuff like this, guys, right? So it kind of goes up, hits resistance, comes back down. So this is either going to fail and fall back down, or it might get a pop back up. That's why I personally don't like playing around down here. I like to let it close, get up above this area, you know, get a 5-minute close, and then as price starts to break, hit the momentum as it breaks above 13. If it does. So at this point, we got to watch. So as you guys can see, right, price is hitting that resistance level right here, that angular resistance. So we got to watch and see what this 5-minute candle does. So we got about another 20 seconds or so. Now, market's a little bit bearish on the day, too. There's kind of a potential falling wedge intraday forming, so we'll have to watch and see. Again, many of these stocks run with the markets. So I'm actually looking at a couple other stocks that are on my watch list. Yeah, a lot of stuff is pretty much bearish at the moment. All right, so as you can see on that 5-minute candle, that 5-minute formed, and it's I want to see a bullish candle up near here. So now as you kind of look at this, it may be forming a potential head, left shoulder, and right shoulder. So you got to be aware of this left shoulder area at $13 and the head around $13.31. Now price may be starting to creep up here. So I'm going to go to the 1 minute and see, you know, again, price is kind of moving up here. Got to watch and see that $13 area. It may be setting up for a potential breakout. So right here, I'm going to look at that 13. I'm going to let that finish this candle. And then if this candle forms, I might take an entry above the break of that 1 minute candle. And this one is a very bullish candle. So at this point, letting that candle form. Watch for the retest around $13 right here. So I want to see if it gets a bounce and holds this. If it holds that $13, I'm going to consider taking a trade on the break above pretty much that 1305, 1306 area. So I want to let that candle complete. And again, you know, I don't play around. So, guys, I like to let the candles complete. And many a times you'll see a couple times that I miss my entry. So that is totally fine. I'm going to, again, watch on this one. Now I'm going to readdress. I'm going to remove this drawing. And now at this point, I'm going to remove this one over here. And now you see some resistance right around this that 1310-ish area as well. So as you can see, I just don't like playing around to get in the break of this candle and then have it be potentially choppy or trade sideways. You can see the 9 and the 20 are crossing at the moment. So that's why I don't like to get in above those flagpoles. I like to get in smaller candles near support. So again, this one could take off, get above $13 or $13.10, but also we're 2.5 minutes in. Many times you'll get up, it'll move down, it'll trade sideways. But there is a potential bullish formation forming right now on a 5-minute. I missed my entry right over here above 13 again, and now it's moving. So I missed it yet again. Again, I like to, from what I was showing you guys in the videos, I like 5-minute candle formations to form with small risk. I didn't get what I wanted. And I also don't like to get in at the top of bigger kind of candlesticks. I like smaller ones. So this is where you'll see that first one I did right over here. I wanted to get in here, but it didn't fill my ask. The second one coming down over here, again, I like kind of, let's say, smaller candlestick risk on it, but I missed it on the break. I didn't take it above that 1306. And as you see, price is moving up at the moment back to that 1320-ish area. So we'll watch and see this 5-minute formation and what it does. All right, so that next 5-minute candle is about to complete. It's right at that 1320-ish level. It is a bullish candle right here. So at this point, I want to let this candle form, see if it can get above that 1322, 1323-ish area on that 5-minute candle. Being aware of that 1331 resistance. So we're going to see how this candle forms. I want to see that 1320-ish area hold. I'll show you that 5-minute candle in a moment right over here. You'll see it's a big bullish candle, but I want to make sure again that this doesn't turn into a head and shoulders failure. All right, so we have a pullback right over here, so you can see that star pattern. It's hitting resistance. So at this point, I'd like to see it get above that 1324-ish area. And you'll see with these 5-minute candles and just candles in general, many times you'll get a big candle up, and then a lot of times, or quite often, it'll cut back in to the other candle before it continues up or it ends up failing. So as you can see right now, you have a head, a left shoulder, and a right shoulder. You want to see price get above that right shoulder, continue up, and then obviously break above this so it doesn't turn into a double top. So again, now it's coming back and retesting these support levels. So now we got to watch if 1310 will hold. If so, then there's a potential smaller candle that I can risk off of. If it holds at 1310, then I might take a trade over here and the break above 1322. Again, I like 5-minute setups. This was a decent 5-minute setup of a flag, but I showed you I missed it on that 1 minute because I like, just my preference, I like small candlesticks. Like if this formed right here, I like something small like that. I'm not a big fan of the longer candlesticks. Now, also too, I missed this one right here, so I could have taken the trade off of here as it broke out of that falling wedge. You'll see I had it mapped out earlier, but I didn't take the trade. So we're going to watch right here as price on a 1 minute is moving up to that 1320, 1321 area. And again, so you have that 1310 to that 1320-ish or so resistance and support levels. All right, I'm also going to looking at FSCT. That was on our watch list. Okay, you know what? I'm liking the potential pattern, but there's not enough volume yet. What I was looking at was a possible flag pattern forming for a red to green move. This is what I really like to see, although the volume is just terrible. I'd love to see a few 100,000, if not 1 million or more. So I saw this as when I was watching this on one of my watch lists, but again, I want the volume. So I'd let this one break out, potentially retest and get some volume. So AAL, just kind of going back over there, we have another minute and 20 seconds or so on this candle right here. At the moment, you see potential tweezer tops. Now it's breaking again. And I missed my entry again. So you can see right here, as I'm trying, that's where it happens, guys, right? So I'm trying to teach and show you guys, and then I'm missing my entry. So you can see there was a nice potential entry right here. But as you can see, guys, this is where it can look good and then fake you out and then fall back down. That's why I like to let the 5-minute candles form. Again, this one could still continue up. We got to watch and see. but I'll show you the 5-minute. It's kind of at the moment, kind of like a doji-ish kind of candle forming right here. So I like to see it hold above that 1320-ish or 1321-ish area and break that 1331 area. So we have another 45 seconds or so left on this candle. And I'm looking at CUK, C-U-K. CUK might be making around. I might take a look at that one in a moment as well, potentially for a possible VWAP move up. So this is a perfect example, guys, right? When you see something start to break out and then so that's why I don't like to kind of catch in the middle of that 5-minute candle usually, because it kind of goes up and then it can come right back down and it can trick you out. So at this point, we got to let that 5-minute candle form. So this is where, as it starts to break out, you'll see so many times these fake outs right back down. All right, 5-minute candle's formed. It's a red spinning top candle. So at this point right now, again, you want to see this 1310-ish hold move up for a potential break above that 1321-ish area. And you can see, I'm looking at my other screen, the 9 EMA at a 5-minute is right around that 1306 area. So I might take a trade on this one if I get a small kind of bullish hold right here on a break above that kind of 1323 area. I'm taking a trade right now. I went long on 1323-ish area. So I'd keep a tight stop on this one right now if it doesn't hold that 1323. I would keep pretty much this candlestick right here, probably about a 10-cent stop on it. And I'm really going to watch that 1322-ish area. Very important level to hold. So you'll see the reason why I got in on this one. Let me let that 1-minute candle form. All right, so you have kind of that spinning top candle at the moment. You'll see I got in at 1323. So what I want to see again, this 1322-ish level hold. I'm using that 9 EMA on a 1-minute as a very important guide. And now it's above that 1321-ish area. I want to see it hold, ideally break above that 1331 level. So I got in on this one because of the 5-minute where you'll see it kind of pulled back. It had some indecision. It held above that 1311. So now I could use it. Kind of moved up. It pulled back a little bit. That's why I risked off of this one, and I'm watching it very closely because I want to see if it's going to go and break above that 1331. I have that 920 crossover. It's on my side on a 1-minute. It's also on a 5-minute on my side as well. It's a little bit overextended. That's why I'm watching this to take potential profit if it doesn't break above these 1328 to 1331 level, because it's a bit further away. But you have the 920 crossovers, and you can see right here, price is moving up. It's failing that 1321-ish area. So I'm going to let this candle form on a 5-minute, and if it fails, I will consider stopping out. So we're going to, again, you'll see many times you get in and then you have this yo-yo effect for a few minutes. That's why it's very important to let that 5-minute candle form. The base of that 5-minute candle, the previous one, was this 1310-ish area. Now, another thing that's given me some potential confidence to stay in this a little bit longer and to let this play out is the market just went red to green as well. And we have a possible flag pattern forming right here. So when the market's going red to green, I like to see that, especially with these, like an airline stock like AAL. If the market goes up, many times these stocks go up with it. So again, I'm watching this 5-minute candle form. I want to see it create a higher high. Right now we have a lower high on this one, so we don't like to see that. And at the moment, it's a bit bearish. So we have another 1 minute and 18 seconds left to go on this candle. Again, if it doesn't break above or get above this kind of this 1321-ish area, I'll consider stopping out. And you can see it's now below my 1-minute candle. Again, right here, that's where my entry was at 1323. I'm down about 6 cents or so on this candle. So now this last minute, Very important for it to ideally get up above here, form a potential bull flag, and ideally catch up. So right now it's not a tweezer top. You'll see this high right here is lower than this previous high. But again, it's still kind of trading in that range between that 1310 to 1320-ish area. So let's let this 1 minute candle close and form. And I'm watching it on my other screen. So now it's bouncing off that 20 EMA. Very common. Another 12 seconds, 10 seconds or so in this trade. Like to see a bullish hold. At this point, I'm using that 20 EMA on a 1 minute as a guide. All right, we have a kind of a doji or spinning top kind of candle. At this point, I am going to use, now that I'm looking at the pattern right over here on a 5 minute and market retesting, I'm actually going to stay in this trade right here and use basically this 13, actually a close below this one right here, the 5 minute spinning top, that 1314-ish as a stop. Because I'm looking that it might be forming a possible flag, or if you look right over here, kind of some angular resistance up here. It may be forming a possible flag or a pennant pattern. I'm going to watch. Let's go over to the 1 minute chart over here. Yeah, I'm going to use kind of this 20 EMA right here as a guide, that 1314. If we get a close below that, then I'm going to stop out. So we can see right here, support is moving up right over in this area, and it kind of goes up to that 13. That's where, again, using that kind of that 20 EMA is a decent guide. So I'm going to let another 5 minute candle form on this because I'm seeing a potential, again, I don't want to assume a potential flag formation forming on a 5 minute, and the market's hovering around red to green. All right, so we have this last 5 minute candle about to form with about 50 seconds left. So you'll see I hung strong on this one. There was no close below that 20 EMA on a 1 minute. Now we're getting very important level right here. You want to see it break on this next candle at the 5 minute candle. I'd like to see it break out. I'm going to show you on a 5 minute right here what I'm looking at was this potential possible flag kind of formation. So it's kind of a flag right here. Needs to break out of that, basically that 1326 area. So now we have a bullish potential hold right here above that 1321-ish area. Now, if you can see, zoom in here, I want to see price break out of that falling wedge, ideally on that next candle, as it's forming the 5 minute right here in 2 seconds right here. Now you want to see go, retest, and boom, let's move it up. So at this point right now I'm going to just kind of remove my drawings down here. So now I'm looking right at that 1320-ish area. So I will use like kind of probably 1320-ish or so as my stop. If it, we're actually right around here, maybe that 20 EMA right here. So you'll see price moved up on a 5 minute. I'm still hanging strong on this one. It's retesting. So I'm going to let another potential 5 minute candle form, because again, you have this bullish candle and many times the next candle comes down, cuts in on it before it'll continue up. So now it needs to break above that 13 kind of 26 area. You can see that support, like this area right here, that 1321-ish area, which is pre-market high, is now support. It's getting a bounce. We like to see that. Now I got momentum on my side. I'm up on this trade. Now I want to see it break that 1331 and continue up. So I'm going to stay on this one, let a 5 minute candle form. You can see I have the 9 and 20 crossover. It's moving. Momentum's on my side. Market's still hovering potentially red to green. And you can see that gap that I was talking about, that 1338 up into 1380 is very important. So again, momentum's on my side. Got my entry at around 1323. We're up about 5 minutes or so. It's retesting, right? So it breaks out, comes back, retesting. So now we want to let this 5 minute candle form, ideally break above 1331. But just because I want it to do that doesn't mean it's going to. It could form a double top and the next candle and end up failing and falling down. But we can see right here, kind of got the support level going out to the future. So we will come back and I will redress this one. All right, as you can see, price is now breaking out above that, what was it, high of day, 1331. We are now in the gap at 1338. That is now my area that I'm paying very close attention to, 1338. I'm going to remove this drawing right over here. And now I'd start considering now potentially taking some profits, 1323. I'm up again. I'm more of a scalper, so I'm going to let this 5-minute candle form, see where it goes into the gap. I might take some profit and then look for maybe a re-entry after this 5-minute candle forms. So as you can see, guys, this is a nice play. It's moving up. It's breaking out. Market is failing, so this is where I'm going to consider potentially taking profits, maybe even within this one, because now the market is selling off at the moment. So I'm going to watch this next minute candle carefully. So I have another minute and a half, 2 minutes on this candle. I'm going to really consider taking profits because the market's pulling back at the moment. So I'm going to watch this one like a hawk. Let this 5-minute candle potentially form, but I'm going to watch these 1 minutes very carefully right here. I want to take 1350, very important resistance level. Boom, it's breaking 1355. I'm going to let this candle form. That 1350, very important, in a whole and half dollar amounts. There it goes. It is flying high. I love it. Beautiful trade here. I am definitely going to take some profits. Let me watch this next minute. This one is humming. All right. I'm out. I just took my profits. It can, still going, but that's totally fine. I'll take it. 1322. Man, I actually, you know what? Hindsight's 2020. There's that gap still above at that 13. See, that's why, right? So that's why I took my profits, guys. I'm not gonna be upset by that one at all. So you'll see 13 in at 1323, out at 1359. And it is still going. It might fill that gap, and whatever, guys. I'm not going to beat myself up, as you can see. So I bought 1,000 shares. I'm trading this in my IRA. So now you have this. It's stuff like this, guys, right? So I'm not playing around with it. It's fine. It might fill the gap. It might pull back. But as you can see, I bought 1,000 shares, and that was a $361 trade, you know? So what I just showed you guys, I'm doing it on American Airlines. What I'm showing you here, just apply it to any stock. If American Airlines is too expensive a stock for you, then trade, you know, whatever, penny stocks, whatever. It's just, I have more confidence to stay in a trade like this with an American Airlines, a bigger name company. I'm watching the market. If this was a low floater stock, then I might not have stayed in, you know, right here. So you can see I got in over here. Wasn't the greatest. I was looking for an anticipation of a break over here, and you'll see I got the one candle right over here, and then I kind of failed and came back down. And that's where I used that 20 EMA as my guide, because the 20 EMA, you'll see many of times price will retest it. So it's a very, very important area. And that's where on the, and as you can see, guys, it's potentially reversing right now. I personally just don't like playing around out here. I'll give up some extra potential profits where I just don't want to play around. So you can see price is now in that gap. We'll see if it can obviously go up to move to fill that gap. But this was a really nice trade. And again, going back on the 5 minute, you'll see, where did I get in? Did I get on this candle or over? Oh, right here. I got in over here. So I was seeing kind of the flagpole, some pullbacks, holding kind of some of that support around 310. And then I stayed in for this candle. You had this nice bullish candle right here. And then boom, breakout. Ideally, I usually wait for this one to form right here and get the bullish candle. But I was seeing, you saw how I missed a couple entries this morning. So I took it. because it looked like, again, you had that bull flag, kind of moved up, another couple pullbacks, and there you go. Here was another flag, boom, in anticipation of a break of high a day. Beautiful trade on American Airlines for, what is that, 23 to 59, 23, what is that, 60, what is that, 27 cents? 37 cents. 36, 37 cents. So that's that, guys, right? So that was on American Airlines. Apply it to whatever stock is your trading style.